What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode. And today we're going to talk about more of the good, the bad, the ugly of the NFL playoffs. And before we start, if you guys haven't seen our pick'ems, we do it every year. And this ain't exactly a pick'em video, but we're going to update kind of where we're at in the standings. We did a playoff special to where everything's worth more and more points as it goes on. And Kaysen. All year he was behind, but he surely made a comeback. Kaysen, you got 10 points this week off your correct guesses. I believe that I did it right here in the 5 minutes that I went through. Dontea, 8 points. Me, 6. And Jordan, 4. But
Already fumbled in the playoffs.
I will
Just
say,
like the Steelers.
Kaysen did have some words for Jordan personally. He kind of attacked him a little bit.
Did he say
go out
Booker
and
T?
I don't know if he really. I don't know if he really attacked me, but he did DM me on Instagram talking shit.
Did he hit you with the Booker T?
No, he didn't hit me with Booker T. He hit me with yesterday at 5:00. He said, "I know you didn't pick the Packers, bro," and I just responded with ... maybe. He said, "You know Jordan Love sucks, right?"
I mean, he's
And
a
I
Lions
said,
fan, so that makes sense.
Yeah. I said, well, he's either really good or trash. He just spins a wheel every drive to decide. And Kaysen responded to that with, "I'm up 4 points. Let's go. Congrats on the I Know Ball Network chip, though." And I don't know if he meant that condescendingly or like, hey, congrats, you beat everybody on the podcast.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I'm not really sure.
We will say
emotions over text.
I mean, this was like a last second add-on, so we didn't have a tie at the end, but realistically there was a tie. But was there a tie?
But the I Know Ball chip, I won because that's between us three.
Us three.
Yeah.
Me and Jordan won me and Dontea won when there's more teams in the league.
More teams in the game that still sucked at picking because they took every underdog every week.
I'm sending this to him. All right.
Me to him. Matt, your picks always suck, brother. Sorry, that's why you finish last every year.
Dontea finished last the first year.
Okay, Dontea didn't know ball.
Bro, I didn't know ball that year, though.
He was learning.
He now knows ball.
I told you
the podcast. He started watching.
Yeah, I wasn't a crazy football fan, and I got tired of getting roasted in the comments. I said, "Oh, y'all think I don't know ball? Okay, bet." And I went in the lab. I watched NFL films until my eyes bled, and now I know ball.
Yep.
Hell yeah. And
he started outperforming Matt, who finished last. What, the last two? How many years are we on now? 3? This is 3 years.
This is the third year. Yeah, each we got a different winner every year.
Matt finished last year and
last this year.
Yeah, does it even count? He's like below last this year.
Yeah, he quit picking.
He only picked, 6 weeks?
He's not even a part of the podcast
anymore. All right, let's move on. We'll talk about
the shit on Matt Fist.
We'll talk about the wild card weekend. No, Best he's not like Odell. Odell likes that shit. Speaking about shit, some teams played like shit this past weekend in wild card weekend.
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
We'll start off
then the LA Chargers.
We'll get to that as we will start with the LA Chargers. They went to Houston as Houston beat them 32-12. And I will say before you go next, Lad McConkey, shout out to you, basically whipping his out and breaking the record for most receiving yards by a rookie in the playoffs, in a playoff game. Shout out to you, lad. Hey. So what are your guys' thoughts on that?
The game. My take was accurate. Lad McConkey was last year's Puka Nacua. You know, he didn't get, 1,400 yards, but I mean, it's safe to say that he balled the hell out, right?
I think we can say Dontea's hot take went well.
Yeah, it went well. My hot take about George Pickens didn't go well, but hey, there's still time.
There's still time. I mean, he's shown a little bit of it.
That thuggery comes out. I didn't think Harbaugh would go out this sad, though. He went out sad.
Sad.
And you definitely thought Houston, the way they were playing later in the year, not looking so hot, it would have been a closer game. Then, I mean, the Chargers were favored, not even at home. And no one thought Houston was going to come out and do that, and they did. But
yeah, I'm going to be honest. Being a fan of any team in the AFC, I think if you had to play Wild Card Weekend, the team you wanted to play was the Texans.
looking into it, yeah. I mean, you were looking into it thinking the Texans were definitely the worst out of there.
Obviously, if you're anybody else, you're saying you probably want to play the Steelers, but
Yeah.
excluding the Steelers, you would want to play the Texans next.
And I mean,
Yeah.
hey, CJ Stroud, we'll see what he's able to do next week, but called out a little bit this past week. Houston does get the win. I don't have very many thoughts on it, just that it surprised me. Herbert threw more interceptions that game than he did all season. Very uncharacteristic of him. And I don't think anyone expected him to do that. And if he's going to do that, you're not going to win the game, especially the turnover battle looking like that. But that's really all I have on that game. I mean, Chargers looked absolutely terrible.
Hey, but shout out to them because they overachieved on the season. I don't think anybody saw this from them this season. I think they thought this was going to be like a rebuilding year with Harbaugh. So the fact that they made it to the playoffs his first year shows some good things for the future.
No, and they did show a stat during the game. I'm not going to remember the numbers exactly, but every team Jim Harbaugh has started as a first-year head coach at has went tremendously up in the rankings of points allowed against them. I mean, when he started with the Niners, they went from somewhere in the mid-20s to somewhere in the mid-teens. Michigan, obviously, they jumped way up. And then the Chargers now this year, I believe they were top 10 in points allowed against them throughout the regular season. And last year, they were somewhere in the 20s.
Just when he starts off, right? That's what it was?
First year head coach.
First year, okay.
The year before he was there and the year he was first there.
Okay. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Because I was going to say later in the years, he definitely got better defense, like your Michigan defense that won the Natty. That was an insane defense.
That was a much better defense, I believe, than his first year at Michigan's defense.
Yeah, I mean, I shout out to him, though.
If you guys did see our TikTok where I was saying it wasn't Mike Tomlin's fault, but it was a coaching fault and a personnel fault and everybody else's fault, kind of, in the Steelers as a team in their playoff loss. I do have the rankings throughout the regular season for each team. The Texans had the 6th ranked defense in the NFL. Now, this is statistically based on yards per game and touchdowns allowed. And they went up against the Chargers' 20th ranked offense. The Chargers had the 11th ranked defense in the NFL, and they went up against the Texans' 22nd ranked offense. So both of them were kind of mediocre in averages, I would say. They're right around that 15, anywhere from 13 to 17 mark, I would say, if you averaged out offense and defense. It should have been numerically a much closer game than it was. The Chargers completely underperformed in that game.
Yeah, I think we all agree on that one.
I've seen a lot of Chargers fans kind of taking shots at Justin Herbert, though, too.
I mean, played terrible. He didn't play terrible all season, and in this game he did.
The guy that chokes in the playoffs, they don't like him as their quarterback. A lot of people don't want Justin Herbert in a Chargers uniform anymore, which sounds completely asinine to me.
It is.
I would love to have Justin Herbert, but I did see a lot of people on Twitter shitting on him.
That's complete asinine for Chargers fans to do that, because guess what? You haven't really won shit ever in the past 20-ish years. So we know you're taking this. You should take this quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know, looking at multiple teams around the league, I'm not going to single out anybody, but how hard it is to find a quarterback. Not just the Browns. I mean, look at the Giants. Look at
the Steelers.
Teams all around. Yeah, look at the Steelers this year. Absolutely, I agree. Look at the Steelers going into next year.
The Bills for a while until they found Josh.
Yeah. I mean, we see it throughout history. So if you find a guy like Justin Herbert, yeah, he might not be Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, but he's a solid quarterback. There's no reason to say, all right, get him the fuck out of town. Who are you going to replace him with?
He's more than solid, in my opinion. And when your number one threat is a rookie, I think you need a little bit of help. So we'll move on from then, and we'll move on to a game that kind of hits home for Jordan. I know we made a TikTok about it. I'll kind of let you take the reins here first. We got Pittsburgh at Baltimore. Baltimore wins 28-14. Jordan, what were your initial thoughts?
Initial
Mediocre
thoughts.
Mike is at it again.
Initial thoughts watching the game. I was sick to my fucking stomach. I drank a lot of Crown Apple and Sprites that night.
Jordan,
Tasted good.
Where'd you get that gun?
Get out of the closet.
But Derrick, you were I believe we were playing some Call of Duty or Rocket League something after the game. And I was upset. But after all of the AFC games concluded in the wild card, this is why I have the numbers. I ran through the numbers. Steelers lost by 14 to the Ravens. Ravens had the number 1 offense in the NFL, along with the 10th ranked defense in the NFL. I mean, all around both sides of the ball, they've been a very, very fluid football team throughout the season. Chargers lost to the Texans. Texans are a much worse team than the Ravens, and the Chargers, in my opinion, and statistically, are a better team than the Steelers. They performed worse against worse opposition than the Steelers. They lost by 20. We lost by 14. And then I know this is the next game, Denver and the Bills. I'm not going to jump into that game too soon, but same kind of thing. The Bills ranked lower offensively and defensively than the Ravens. And Denver ranked right around the Steelers' rank and lost by 10 more points than the Steelers. So after watching kind of all the AFC playoffs unfold, I didn't feel as bad about it. We lost by 2 touchdowns to the best team in football, arguably. I still think it's the Lions, the best team in football, but you could definitely make a case for the Ravens. So it does suck at the end of the day. I did think that we maybe had a chance, especially with them not having one of their big playmakers in Zay Flowers out there. But yeah, we saw Derrick Henry stiff arm Minka to Cancun. So
hey man, someone else.
The thing is let me try not to be a hater, because I'm a hater of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Go Brown. My 3-win team.
I hope you guys get Kirk Cousins.
But it's funny because, like, when you watch a fan of a team rationalize a loss by being like, hey, they all lost too. It's like, well, yeah, somebody has to lose. Yeah. Like,
we lost better opponents. It's kind of
that's like
not taking away from the fact that we lost. It's still an absolutely aggravating loss, and it's a team we see twice a year, as opposed to the Broncos seeing the Bills or the Chargers seeing the Texans. They don't see them twice a year. We should have had a better game plan.
It's a team you've gotten the best of in recent years too.
8 out of 10.
Yeah, and they've won when it matters. This game is about Mike Tomlin, man. I mean, listen, whether you think he has the personnel or not, you can't go all of these years with winning game after game after game and getting to 10 wins with, overachieving every year. But then when you get to the playoffs, it's belt to ass every game. And it's like, dog, they've lost their last, 5 playoff games? 6?
I believe it's the last 6 we've lost.
Yep.
I was also shitting on my Steelers in the TikTok. In the last 5 playoff games, the scores at halftime of those games,
I seen that graphic.
2017 was 21-0 Jacksonville. 2020 was 28-0 Cleveland. 2021 was 21-7 Kansas City. 2023 was 21-0 Buffalo. And this year was 21-0 Baltimore. Along with the combined first quarter scores of the Steelers' last 6 playoff games, they've been outscored 73-0 in the first quarter of the last 6 playoff games.
Yeah, they just start like shit. And listen, man, I think Mike Tomlin's a great coach. I think he's the top coach in the NFL right now. But, I mean, this has to be studied, man. All of these winning seasons, they mean nothing when you're drafting 22nd every year and getting bounced in the first round.
Yeah.
Clearly, that formula is not working.
Yeah, one of my biggest things, I'm not on the fire Tomlin the fire Tomlin train or trade Tomlin train. I am on stop letting him have as much control and kind of put him on the hot seat. Let him know that, make or break time. I think that he goes into playoff games underprepared. A lot of teams, their first drive is scripted, right? We saw it in the game on Saturday, the Steelers game. Who won the coin flip, Dontea? Do you remember?
I actually missed the game because I was at a party.
Okay. Opening coin flip, the Pittsburgh Steelers won the coin flip. What do normal teams do when they win the opening coin flip? They defer, they take the ball after half, right? The Pittsburgh Steelers elected to receive and went 3 and out.
They had the confidence.
No, I lied. They did get a first down, and then they punted after the first.
They had the confidence.
Your first drive is
we got to start hot.
Scripted. Your first drive is supposed to be scripted. It's supposed to be your best plays in a row. That did not happen for the Pittsburgh Steelers on Saturday. That is a coaching problem, but I still don't think that there's anybody out there above Mike Tomlin right now that we can fire him and go pick somebody else up and be a good team next year. I think that we have potential to be a good team. Obviously, when you start off as hot as we do, 11-0, that 11-0 team had potential to be a great team. It's when you get down to the time of it needing to be a good team and the team underperforms year in and year out. I think that the GM, the owners, should take more of the responsibility in terms of hiring coordinators. Stop letting Mike Tomlin pick guys that he wants. He's picking guys who use Bijan Robinson as a decoy for an entire season.
Who did the year they won 11-0? Who they lose to in the first round?
The Browns.
I don't want to talk about it. Next way, or next talking point. I think that we need to get a younger-minded offensive and defensive coordinator in. I think that the roster that we have, yes, we do need a little bit better supporting cast, but we have to find some better ways to get TJ Watt involved. I mean, he recorded 0 stats on Saturday. I'm not going to sit here and try to defend him for that. That's not good.
My dude had a Tony Snell game.
Yeah. But when you run TJ Watt the exact same way all game long, teams know how to defend that. When our offensive scheme is run on first down, run on second down, throw it for 40 yards on third down, and then punt, teams know how to game plan for that, especially when it comes to the playoffs.
Very one-dimensional offense in a way to where you either got that deep ball or you're running.
And I think it's a one-dimensional defense as well. I think that it's, hey, we're going to put TJ on the edge. All right. Now what? All right, he's getting double teamed and chipped every play. Okay. Now fucking what? Nobody else is helping up the middle. Nobody else is helping on the sides. Cam Hayward, obviously, he did have a good season, but I'm saying like when it comes time that it matters, teams are ready to game plan for what you show all year long. Especially a team like the Ravens that we played twice. They know what we're going to do on defense. They know what we're going to do on offense. You have to come out with something different than that.
Well, better luck next year.
Yeah,
you guys do. Hey, who did the Browns play this weekend?
I'd rather us just already be out than to get my hopes up just to get bounced in the first round. Hey, we got second overall pick. What pick y'all got? 24? Ha, nerds.
Yeah. Hey, that 24th pick will be more valuable than that second pick. Whoever we take at 24 will mean more to the team than who you guys take it to.
Who did y'all take last year? Y'all took a lineman, right?
Yeah.
How did he do this year?
I'm pretty sure he was hurt this year.
Mm-hmm. Last year, who'd you take? Kenny Pickett.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That guy was good.
Yeah, can't wait till you guys draft Shador.
All right.
Win 4 games next year.
I'll combat a couple of.
Going to the Titans.
I'm gonna combat a couple of things that you said. I disagree with not having Mike Tomlin not hire coordinators and other coaches. I don't think the GMs and owners should do that because I have a feeling a lot of GMs in the NFL, I'm not saying your guys' GM specifically, are not in positions to where they should be. I think they kind of just got it because they know people. They don't know football. But I do agree with your younger coaches in new mindsets. I think they should.
The reason I said that is because Mike Tomlin's not going to go get a younger mindset coach. He's an old school. He wants to run the ball and play defense and keep it a close game.
And speaking of that,
that's why I said people need to come up and kind of overshadow him and force him into getting your younger coordinators.
Speaking of that, Mark Kaboli, Steelers reporter, said that Mike Tomlin said, I have a feeling a lot of things are going to change around here. Most likely coaching. There's rumors of Mike McCarthy coming over and not being the head coach, but also being a coordinator over there for you guys. You know, Pittsburgh guy. you could see, and I could potentially see Mike Tomlin hiring another guy that, has been around the league, proven himself around the league, and, take him on the team. Kind of what he tried to do with Arthur Smith.
Just to bring,
but we'll see.
What would he do? An OC?
Yeah.
Mike McCarthy? Just to bring him in and fucking run, pass.
And Dak Prescott is the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback.
Aaron Rodgers, Mike McCarthy, A-Rod back together.
I don't want that either. I want Justin Fields to sign a 3-year deal.
Anyways,
I have heard rumors of that, but that's what I want.
I also heard rumors that Mike Tomlin said he's not sold on either quarterback.
Yeah.
So that's very troubling if you're a Steelers fan.
And Russ said he wants to be a Steeler for life.
What's that, 2 more years?
Yeah, what? All right, we'll move on. We talked about the Pittsburgh Steelers for a little while. We're just going to run quickly through the rest of these games for the most part. We got Denver at Buffalo. Buffalo. We thought it might have been a good game. Bo Nix goes down, scores real quick, deep ball, 7-0. Buffalo goes down, gets a field goal, 7-3. You're like, okay, maybe the defense is going to step up for the Broncos. And then, obviously, that just turned into 31 unanswered points for the Bills. I will say, Bo Nix looked good for a rookie. Other than that, he also needs weapons on the offense. And the Bills, Josh Allen, they're dogs.
Imagine if the Broncos had Jerry Jeudy still.
I'm thinking they wish they did.
I mean, great rookie season. Great. I think that shows a lot of hope for their future. But it just sucks when your draw of the cards is to play
Buffalo,
a top 4 team in the NFL.
An MVP quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, but I'm going to be honest. There's not that many teams on that side of the bracket that I had faith in the Broncos beating. If you look at the Broncos' record this season versus teams with a winning record, it wasn't that good, to be honest. Like, if you look at the teams that they beat when they beat them, they didn't really beat good teams this season.
They beat the Chiefs, and that was with their backups. So that's like another thing. Yeah. Take away that. Don't know what their record really looks like. They beat us, the Browns. We're not a very good team. I'll tell you that.
If we're
lost to the Steelers early in the season,
I'll make it very quick so we don't spend time on this game. If we're going to their games, they beat the Chiefs with their backups.
Yep.
They beat the Browns. They beat the Raiders. They beat the Falcons with Kirk Cousins. They beat the Panthers. They beat the Saints. They beat the Jets. You guys sensing a trend here?
Yeah. The trend is they had a cakewalk schedule, brother.
Yeah, and then you look at who they lost to. They lost to the Bills. They lost to the Bengals. They lost to the Chargers. They lost to the Chiefs. They lost to the Ravens. So any top team they beat, lost to any bad team they beat. So
yeah, and in the playoff game, when your kicker Riley Dixon's going to be the best player on the field that day, to where he's throwing passes, pinning them inside the one, and making tackles, you might have an issue when it comes to your team and potentially winning that game. So definitely need to build a couple more pieces around them. Jordan, anything else from you before we move on?
Yeah, like I said, I think that Denver showed a lot of promise for their future. I hope their future sucks. I hope that I hope Bo Nix goes, hey dude, I just don't want to be here anymore.
That's brutal.
We'll move on to another game to where it looked like both teams didn't want to win for a little while. Green Bay at Philly. Philly wins 22-10, and kind of looks like a blowout a little bit. Looks like Philly kind of ran the whole game. It was a closer game than what you thought, but Jordan Love threw 3 interceptions around there. And Philly didn't look like a great offense, but that could potentially be because Jalen Hurts was out with a concussion for a little bit. But Philly does win that one.
Yeah, Saquon. I don't know why you slid, bro. You sold my parlay.
He said
Eagles.
Everyone
I was going to actually bring up when he slid too. Did you see Devontae Smith on the sideline? Did you see the sideline? He said, come here. Why did you slide? Nobody's catching your fast ass.
And the game wasn't like, oh, I give them the ball back and they get an onside kick and it's a game. Like, no, they still need so much more after that. Like, I don't know.
I don't mind the slide.
Sportsmanship aspect. I think it's like, hey, we're already winning. Let's just get down and call it that.
I don't mind it. You know why? Remember the Browns Jets when Joe Flacco was the quarterback for the Jets?
That was different. No,
that was a 2-score game.
Lead, though.
That was a 2-score game. That we were still up. That's 2-score game. That's what I'm saying.
He goes and scored. It's 3-score game. Nick Chubb scored and made it.
You're right. Game. I'm looking at the final score, thinking that they ended up getting points.
Nick Chubb
you're right.
And made it a
2-score game. Jets ended up coming back.
Got the ball back.
You're right.
Twice. That would have been 3-score.
Okay,
game.
For them to come back 31-10 down 3 touchdowns would have been almost near impossible.
You see what I'm saying now?
Yeah, I see what you're saying now. Okay, yeah, you're right. Shout out you.
Yeah, Eagles -6.5 and Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown was a nice parlay.
Anything else on that game? You guys ready to move on?
Move along.
Green Bay sold my bracket. And Pittsburgh. Fuck. Everybody sold my bracket, bro. I suck.
The next guy that sold my bracket might say he fumbled it away. Washington at Tampa. Washington wins 23-20 in a pretty good game where Mike Evans started out hot, dominating Lattimore. They were showing the matchup early. And if it wasn't for the center exchange once with Baker and then the jet sweep that they kind of try to run, the timing was off. Tampa Bay could have pulled out this win.
I can't remember exactly what it was. Didn't they make a mistake though? Because I think they
fumbled twice. One was like an actual exchange fumble, a center quarterback exchange. Another one, like we said, was the jet sweep when they were up, and they gave him the ball in the red zone. Jaden Daniels goes and scores.
No, it wasn't the penalty. I was thinking there was a penalty that gave the Commanders a first down. No. He wanted to be Dan Campbell so bad, and he went for it on 4th down, and they scored. Dan Quinn wanted to be Dan Campbell, and he went for it, and it worked. Yeah, that's what happened.
Why did Jaden Daniels get hit so hard out of bounds on that play too?
They were pissed.
Dude, they fucking smacked him when he was trying to run out of bounds.
Jaden Daniels is really good at football, bro.
Yeah, he's a dog.
So good.
The biggest takeaway I have from that game, Jaden Daniels, you guys see he had that little cut. He was like bleeding. After the game, Derrick probably knows where I'm going. I seen him start laughing already. After the game, there was a picture of Magic Johnson in the tunnel.
Stay away.
Somebody quoted it and said, "Keep that motherfucker away from Jaden Daniels' open wound."
Magic probably don't even have it anymore. He probably has enough money to get cured and it's gone.
Keep that motherfucker away.
Nah, they said that guy was undetectable in like 2012, bro. That guy got HIV no more.
Maybe that was a lie.
Shout out to Dan Quinn, man. That was a well-coached game. Went for it on 4th down. That's the mentality. I think he was just like, hey, we overachieved this season. We're not supposed to be here. Let's just go for it. Like let's rely on our offense. We got a dual threat quarterback. Let's just do it. And it worked out, bro.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, if Chris Godwin was in the game, does that change it a little bit? Potentially. Who knows? Yeah, shout out Baker. He ran over Bobby Wagner. Was a fucking Ram trucked his ass. And sadly, Baker didn't win. Another playoff loss. But hey, more playoff appearances than the Cleveland Browns in the past how many years? So shout out Baker.
It don't matter though. He's only had one win as a playoff. No, I lied. Never mind. He beat Philly. Never mind. Keep going.
Yeah. 2.
Never mind.
2 wins.
Next game.
Next game. We'll move on. To a game to where I did say, if the Rams, if you want a chance to win, you got to put pressure on Sam Darnold. And that's exactly what they did when Minnesota went not to Los Angeles, but to Arizona, and they tried to make it look like Los Angeles' stadium.
They did a good job.
They did a good job. And the Rams ended up winning 27-9. Sam Darnold sacked 9 times. Jared Verse scoop and score. defensive rookie of the year, no doubt. And I was right. Sam Darnold eventually was going to come out. Dude came out the last 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah, but like, he got sacked 9 times, bro. And I watched that game. A lot of those, it wasn't like he was Deshaun Watson holding the ball and like just trying to buy time in the pocket. There were times where he would run play action.
There's a guy right in his face.
And somebody was jumping on his damn back, bro. Like, it looked like Caleb Williams, kind of, minus holding the ball. So it's like, is that on the team? Like, is that a bad game plan? Like,
I would say bad scheme. I mean, Sean McVay usually never said has a bad scheme, but not Sean McVay, Kevin O'Connell. But that game, it wasn't very good for Sam. Of course, all 9 weren't exactly on the offensive line, I would say. Sam Darnold did make a couple of throws, but he wasn't the $50 million a year quarterback that game.
Well, Justin Jefferson, too, was locked up.
Yeah.
In jail.
But hey,
in jail. If
you want to be the quarterback that makes that kind of money, you got to be the guy that steps up and makes plays and puts your team to winning positions. Sam didn't do that. But
so shout out you to a question.
Shout out to the Rams before you ask that question. They did exactly what
for their hometown.
They did exactly what they needed to do with putting the pressure on Sam and making him make quick decisions.
Okay, 2 questions. I don't want explanations. I just want yes or no's. Okay? First question. Is Cooper Kupp washed?
No.
Okay. I disagree. Second question. You two both are fans of teams that have quarterback vacancies. Sam Darnold is on the market, and he is willing to take a 4-year, $120 million deal, $80 million guaranteed. Are you giving it to him?
No.
You guys are crazy.
If I'm a Steelers fan, I'm closer to taking that deal. Just because of salary cap and things like that. And if you think you can win now, you think about it more than I think if you're the Browns. The Browns, you're already in cap hell. We might get $40 million if Deshaun doesn't play. That's all up. We don't know exactly if that's going to work out.
Money though. Let's just say somehow the money appears. They have it.
If money was no issue, give me Sam for a year or 2 and see how it works out. Draft a QB this year. Same thing with
4 years, $120 million, $80 guaranteed.
You don't have to keep him for all 4.
$30 million a year though, bro.
Yeah, you don't have to keep him for all 4 is what I'm saying.
$30 million a year though.
I'm saying for the Browns' sake,
14 games.
You take the quarter.
So Sam Darnold would fit perfect with the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know why? Because he would be good all regular season, and the first game of the playoffs, suck ass. That's why I don't want him.
Wow.
I wouldn't be mad at Browns. Use him as a bridge mentor quarterback to where you take a quarterback with your second pick, whoever it's going to be, Cam or Shador.
Bro, he's 27. Saying a 27-year-old as a bridge quarterback is crazy.
Listen, see how he plays. He has 1 year. There's a lot of quarterbacks that have good years, maybe 1 or 2, and you really can't win with them unless you got a great team around them. One, I get hate because Geno Smith is not that quarterback that is going to will you to wins. He has to have a great team around him to win games. I feel like Sam is that type of guy. So that's why I would say he'd be like a bridge quarterback for the Cleveland Browns if you do take a quarterback. Kind of like what they were trying to do with JJ, but he was on a 1-year deal.
We've only seen him with decent, at best, weapons. And then this is the first time he's had Sam Darnold. Like, he's only had good weapons this one time. He has never had.
I thought you were saying this time was decent.
No. These are good weapons, great weapons. You have this second best receiver in the NFL, and then you have a great tight end, a solid number 2, a good running back. He has never been in a position to succeed since then now. So everything we've seen before, he's with a dumpster fire Jets, he's with a dumpster fire Panthers, and then he's a backup for the Niners, which he came in that game after Brock Purdy stunk it up and looked good actually with solid weapons. Now Cleveland don't have great weapons, but he has never had a team around him to look good. Never.
Agree. I do think there's an asterisk with, I'm going to just interrupt real quick, with head coaches. Kevin O'Connell makes quarterbacks look great. what's his name? Shanahan, Niners, makes quarterbacks look great. That's a big
Kevin
difference.
Stefanski makes quarterbacks look great.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen. Jordan, you go.
I was just going to say, like, similar to what Derrick said, it'd be like after last year if Geno Smith was a free agent this year, asking the same question. He had one good year, kind of stunk it up towards the end of the year.
Half.
Hypothetically speaking, he would have went into the free agent market. Would you have given him that deal?
Yeah, but Geno's been like a career backup though. Geno wasn't a top. Good. Yeah, but that's the thing though. You're comparing an apple to an orange. Geno was never a top overall pick. Sam Darnold was picked what, 3rd or 4th overall for a reason.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we see guys get picked early and not work out a lot.
Yeah, but he did work out though. Who have you seen get drafted to the Jets as a quarterback that worked out?
Mark Sanchez, his rookie year, won a playoff game.
Okay, and yeah, he's now announcing. And then you think about it. He went to the Panthers, the same exact place Baker Mayfield went to.
He had CMC.
Baker Mayfield, who's been very good, that same dude. What did Baker do with the Panthers?
If you're the Panthers, you see that picture, both of them, you're like, what the fuck happened?
Exactly, but look at what Baker went to.
The Rams, then Bucks proved himself, and then got that deal.
But look at who he had with him is what I'm saying. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. He had Bucky Irving this year, Rashad White, Leonard Fournette. He's had good players. Sam Darnold's never had good players, bro. Like, I think if you get him around a team, like Pittsburgh don't have good weapons. No offense. Cleveland don't have good weapons, though. Cleveland don't have good weapons, though. But they're 1 or 2 weapons away is what I'm saying. But I digress. If I'm the Browns, come on, Sammy. Let's do this.
Yeah.
No bridge quarterback. I'll give you 6 years if you need it.
I do agree.
1 more year.
27.
Cleveland, in terms of weapons, is 1 or 2 away. I would say the Steelers are closer to maybe 3 or 4 away. Depending if George Pickens stays, if his head stays on his shoulders. George Pickens, I think, is an incredible weapon to have if he goes to a good team. Could you imagine George Pickens in Buffalo? Josh Allen airing that bitch out.
He's going to have 1,700 yards.
Yeah. Like, George Pickens is a great weapon to have. We just have to build the system to where if we want to keep him, we need to keep him happy. We have to get him yards, targets, looks, get him open in different ways. I think that we need more weapons than just that, especially now with Najee technically not being a Steeler after this season. I mean,
hey, we ain't talking about the Steelers no more, bro. Y'all lost. It's over.
You just talked about the Browns. I'm just giving my input back on the Sam Darnold thing. I think we are too many weapons away to give Sam Darnold that contract.
Perfect. Next game.
Sam has to. Sam. All right. Welcome back, Jordan. Sam is 1 year away, in my opinion. Off of 1 year
away from being out of the fucking league. Yeah.
1 year to prove it again. And I think that you just can't give him a $50 million contract per year, $30 million contract per year just based off of one season with a head coach that is historically known as an offensive genius. So, and with all those weapons. I
think that you can sign Sam Darnold to a contract for any extended amount of time right now if you're any team in the NFL, unless it's to be a backup.
I don't know, bro.
You don't know how he's going to act.
4,300, 35, and 12. Give me that guy. That's all I'm saying. I'll take that.
As long as you got an Aaron Jones, a Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, a Hawkinson, sure.
I don't think so.
And
Hawkinson was only there for about 5 games.
Top 5 defense.
Was great in Houston.
Give me a top 5 defense with it. I'll take Sam. We'll move on to the actual games that we're going to see this weekend. Saturday, we will start off with Houston at Kansas City, where Kansas City is going to be favored -8 here. We'll see them. Shout out Mahomes, got his baby, so he's not going to miss a game. I don't think he would have anyways. Houston surprised people last week. Dontea, do you think they can surprise people this week?
They can, but they won't. I mean, listen, betting against the Chiefs at this point is like betting against Tom Brady and the Pats. How many times did Tom Brady make it to the playoffs with the Pats? And they're talking about, I don't know about his weapons. This isn't the best. You know, like they always try to find something wrong with those Patriots teams. And at the end of the day, they had the best coach and the best quarterback. Who do the Kansas City Chiefs have? The best coach and the best quarterback. I know Lamar and Josh Allen are MVP, but at the end of the day, you need one game. You need a guy for one game. Who are you taking that quarterback?
We're all still taking Mahomes.
Everybody. You got to win the Super Bowl to save your family's life. Gun to your head, you're taking Patrick Mahomes. So they got the best coach. They got the best quarterback. I'm sticking with that team. I'm not doing the hater Brady thing that everybody did for years. Give me Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid.
You might take Tanner McKee.
The hater thing. I'm doing the hater thing, but I'm still picking him. Just because I hate him doesn't mean I don't think he's going to win. I hate Tom Brady and still picked his ass to win.
If they lose, delete that.
Yeah, I mean, you could say Mahomes had a down year. 4,000 yards ish. 26
Aaron
touchdowns.
Rodgers had a better year than him, and we shit on Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
I shit on Aaron Rodgers.
26 touchdowns, 11 picks. I guess statistically, Aaron Rodgers did have a better year, but I am taking Mahomes over Aaron Rodgers.
So does Sam Darnold.
Yeah, and I'm taking it. All right, but I don't think Houston. I don't really think they have a chance. I don't think their defense is going to be able to stop the Chiefs, even though the Chiefs' weapons aren't even like the greatest. He's kind of got a bunch of guys over there.
Here's a guy.
Yeah, and I don't know who's going to be calling that game. Hopefully, it's not Collinsworth. But I'm gonna go Chiefs, and they might actually cut. Or Tony. Tony might. I'm gonna go.
Kelsey going up the seam here. Oh, there it is.
He might just sit there and catch it.
Oh, Jim, there's one of Mahomes' classic moments.
He always sounds like he's about to take a shit.
Oh, Jim.
You gotta look like Tony Romo, Derrick.
Dude, I look like Kirk, Tony. You don't even know what Tony. What color are Tony's eyes?
I don't know. He's got darker hair.
You racist motherfucker. Give me the Chiefs to cover 8.
Ooh, to cover 8 is crazy.
You guys give me your spread prediction right now.
7.
Chiefs money line.
21-14.
So Texans cover.
Yeah.
Jordan,
Chiefs money line.
You got to pick spread. Who you taking?
Texans probably to cover.
All right. Then we'll move on. Next game. Is there anything else you guys wanted to say about that matchup?
Nope.
No, I think. Is there any Texans fans watching? Shout out. CJ didn't look the greatest this year, but he's also a sophomore. Chiefs are just better.
Sophomore slump.
We got Washington going to Detroit. And I hope this is a good game, but this is the highest spread of the week. 9.5. Hopefully it's not a blowout, but man, Detroit, one of the best teams, if not the best team in the NFL right now. And potentially getting a lot of pieces back on defense and some on offense come the playoffs. So I think personally Washington only has a chance if their defense steps up. That's the biggest thing. Detroit, their bread and butter is that offense. They can put up the most points in the NFL. Their weakness, obviously, is their defense. A lot of injuries over there. But I still think Detroit is going to win that one.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, bro. I just, even if Washington's defense shows up, Jared Goff is not Sam Darnold. And it doesn't matter if Jared Goff decides to fold the way Sam Darnold does this game. That team's too good on offense. Like, if you can convince me you're going to stop David Montgomery if he's back, and Jahmyr Gibbs, and Amon-Ra, and Sam Laporta, and Jameson Williams, hell, even Tim Patrick be getting in on it. I just don't think you can do that. Like,
you can shoot them, but you can't stop them.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they've had a good year, and I think they've overachieved tremendously. And I think they might scare the Lions here. Like, I think this might be a better game than people think.
Yeah,
but I got to go with the Lions, bro.
I agree.
I don't think there's anybody on this side of the bracket that can beat the Lions.
I remember this game before you go, Jordan. Detroit played Tennessee this year. Obviously, Tennessee actually had a top-rated defense in the NFL. And 52 points on him.
50.
Jared Goff had 85 passing yards. 85 passing yards, and they put up 52 fucking points. He did have 3 touchdowns, 12 for 15. But, like, we could do that. Not really, but
I could.
maybe.
We've seen you throw a football. I don't know.
Jordan, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Lions by 1 million here. David Montgomery's coming back for this game after his fourth opinion. He went to 4 doctors, and one of them was like, maybe, and he goes, "Fuck it, I'm playing."
He said all I needed was one yes.
Yeah, the first 3 were like, "No, dude, absolutely not. Don't play. You're gonna fuck yourself up bad." The fourth one said, "I mean, you technically could," and he goes, "I'm in. Let's go."
Coach him back. Give me the ball.
Yeah, I think the Lions by 1 million. And by the way, speaking of Sam Darnold, if Jared Goff magically retired after this season, if I'm the Lions, that is a team that I would give Sam Darnold a contract to be on because you don't have to be good in that offense.
You're a piece of shit, dude. I hope.
Like Derrick said, there's a lot of weapons. I can't wait either, and you guys win 2 games.
Detroit minus 9.5. Give me them to cover.
Cover.
Commanders a cover.
All right.
Nope. I think Detroit wins by like 16.
I got a crystal ball here.
All right, we'll see. We'll see if it hits. We'll move on to next game. This one, line maybe.
Game of the week?
I think that no, this is not the game of the week. This is at 3:00. Rams at Philly.
Okay.
Then a game of the week it will be at 6:30 p.m. on Sunday. Rams at Philly. Philly is favored -6. And I think the biggest thing for the Eagles and Eagles fans watching it, offense didn't look the greatest. The team didn't look the greatest when they played the Packers. Both teams didn't look great. And turnover battle, I think, for the Eagles was 4-1 in favor of them. And they still, I wouldn't say barely won, but you only won by 12 when you should have won by 30. Rams surprised a lot of people. I don't know who I'm taking here. What do you guys think?
Is it weird that I think the Rams can definitely win this game?
Okay, so
they can be a dangerous team.
Kyron Williams is a dog.
Here. Let's have a little fun here. Jalen Hurts or Sam Darnold?
Matt Stafford.
No. I want to do this in a whole separate video. I'll run down every quarterback in the NFL.
No. I'm not going that way. Jalen Hurts or Sam Darnold?
Jalen Hurts.
Okay. Justin Jefferson or AJ Brown?
Justin Jefferson, but it's close in my opinion when it comes to just being a top wide receiver.
Devontae Smith or Jordan Addison?
Devontae.
Yeah, I think Devontae.
Still close though, but yeah.
Yeah, really close. I think the receiver core for those teams are close.
TJ Hawkinson or Dallas Goedert?
Dallas Goedert.
I personally like TJ Hawkinson. So
you might think I'm high.
TJ.
Dallas Goedert has played better this year. Obviously, TJ was hurt though.
Saquon or Aaron Jones?
No question.
Saquon.
All right, simple. Eagles win.
Yeah, that's good.
I see what you were doing now. Do you know what I want us to play maybe later this week?
Yeah, I'm in.
Right. I'm cool with that.
Sam Darnold.
I'm cool with that. No.
Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold? Sam Darnold.
Give me Baker. Yeah, I'm gonna go Eagles here. I think Jalen's gonna be playing better. He only had 1 week of practice. We didn't even know if he was gonna play. He should play better this week than he did last week, and I think I would say the Vikings defense is better than the Rams. And then I would say Rams might have a better defense than the Packers though. But I think they should be able to put up a decent amount of points. Give me Philly.
I'm going with Philly too.
I'm also going with Philly. I think Rams for sure to cover, and I would not be surprised if they won though.
Rams plus 6.
I think Philly's a more well-rounded team.
I'll take Rams plus 6 as well.
Hey, low key, should we do with the Rams what we look at the Rams like the Saints back in Hurricane Katrina? The Rams going to win this for LA?
Well, they're in Philly.
The whole thing?
I don't know if anybody cares about LA though, because there's a bunch of like perverts, predators, and pedophiles out there for real.
I agree.
Hollywood, bro.
Philly minus 6. You taking them to cover or no?
They win by field goal.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Rams
so. We all got
Jake
Rams
Elliott.
covering.
Jake Elliott 40-yarder.
You might miss it. Then we'll move, actually, game of the week. We'll talk a little bit about it. Some might say, screw the MVP voting. Whoever wins should get the MVP. We got Baltimore at Buffalo. And Baltimore is favored away here. -1 basically is going to be pick-em odds for you. And I'm not gonna make my pick.
To believe that the Bills should be favored in this game.
Baltimore is.
They're home.
Oh, you said Baltimore is favored.
Baltimore's favored at actually -1. Yeah.
Oh.
I might have said it backwards, but
So Baltimore's favored as the away team.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. Continue,
what's the spread again? I'm sorry.
-1, basically pick them.
-1. Jesus.
But Baltimore looked dominant. It was a 28-14 game, but it looked pretty dominant, I would say, against the Steelers. Buffalo
worse than 28-14.
Yeah. Buffalo, same thing. It was a domination on their side against the Broncos. Obviously, no diss to both those teams. I don't think there were any contenders, either of those teams. They might have been hopefuls for the most part. So both kind of did what they needed to do. And this is a close one. I'm curious to hear you guys' thoughts before I go on and explain who's who and who's better.
I really don't know, to be honest. Let's see here.
Dude's got Bill's Mafia fucking thing. Are you gonna flip a coin?
We got a coin. Heads, Bills, tails, Ravens. Heads, Bills.
Ooh.
That's literally how I'm picking this game, because I think it can go either way. I think both of these are great teams. I think the winner of this game goes to the Super Bowl.
Oh, I didn't know Patrick Mahomes was playing.
I don't think he's going. I think the winner of this game beats the Chiefs.
Houston beats them.
Then the winner of this game definitely goes.
I'm going with the Ravens here. Their defense has been playing unreal. Josh Allen's been playing unreal too, so they're going to have a hard time with him. James Cook looked really good versus the Broncos, who have a really good defense. At the end of the day, though, I trust Harbaugh. He's a good coach. It boils down to Lamar. I think this game boils down to Lamar Jackson. He is the complete X factor this whole entire game. I think if he has a good game, they win. But if he has one of those games where he can't complete passes, he's running around the backfield trying to keep plays alive, I think they lose. I think this is a Lamar Jackson, not to sound corny, legacy game, bro. This is the legacy game.
Yeah, I agree. Lamar previously, a lot of hate towards him for not being clutch and not winning playoff games and being poor in the playoffs. Josh Allen, his playoffs, mainly because he ran into Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, he's every AFC quarterback since like 2004.
Yeah. So
with Tom Brady, but he's with Pat Mahomes.
With this, I think Baltimore has a better offense. I think they have better weapons. Baltimore's defense looked a little Swiss cheese against the Steelers later in the game. A lot of deep balls, a lot of open receivers when the D-line or the blitz doesn't get to the quarterback quick.
I think Jordan could attest to that. Stuff?
They might have, but I'm not a big fan of their secondary this year. They haven't looked the best. A lot of, similar to the Browns, a lot of mishaps and a lot of broken plays that should not happen. Buffalo, I think a little more sound on defense, but don't have like the star power on defense, if that makes sense. Matt Milano, top 10 player in missed tackles since 2018. You know?
Facts.
Missed tackle percentage. Obviously he's still a great player, but I'm going to go Baltimore here. I just think they have a high-powered offense. I think the X factor, like you said, I'm not going to go Lamar because you said Lamar. Give me Josh Allen because I don't think he has the weapons Lamar does. If he's able to play great, kind of like what you said, they're able to win that game, but he needs to be almost perfect because I think Lamar is all right. Keon's all right. Shakir's all right. James Cook is good. But I just think the weapons at Baltimore just overweigh and overpower the offensive weapons on Buffalo.
I mean, Buffalo got their asses whooped by the Ravens earlier this year. I know it was very early in the season. I think it was like the first 4 games, something like that, 5 games maybe. Didn't have Amari Cooper. Not that he's done much since then anyways, but yeah, I mean, they already got the best of them once this year. Do you know what they say? It's hard to beat a good team twice. So does Buffalo win this one? Or do great teams beat good teams twice?
Just to be a little bit different from you guys, obviously, I feel like the no-brainer is both quarterbacks obviously are the X factor in the game. I think outside of quarterback, the X factor of the game is running back. Who's going to run on whose defense better?
Derrick Henry.
James Cook.
Derrick Henry.
I think it's going to come down to, I think the game won in the trenches will win the game because I think Josh Allen and Lamar can both do what they need to do to win. It's the matter of who else will be able to step up to help their team win.
Defensive fronts you're going for. Who's able to stop the run game, basically. I think that's how you stop the Ravens. You stop their running game. You're forced. Lamar's not a bad passer, but his weakness on offense is the weapons in the wide receiver room. So
I think that's any team, though. I mean, any team, if you can completely shut down the run to where they can't run the ball, and you force any team to just have to pass every play, every down, run the ball is basically just surrendering a down. That makes the game a lot harder.
Yeah, and then you're taking a aspect out of Lamar. Lamar runs more than Josh Allen, but that's kind of how they run their offense. Jordan talked about it with TJ Watt only going to Derrick Henry every time and leaving Lamar open. It's going to be a big factor. I don't know
why we did that.
Sorry, Dontea.
I just don't know if you want to let Lamar just sit in the pocket and throw the ball, though. The man does have 4,200 yards, 41 touchdowns.
No. That's not at all what I'm saying. I'm not saying you're forcing him to throw the ball and like, hey, beat me with your arm. I'm saying if you take away the running and you're able to show dominance in the running front, either team, whether it's the Bills getting dominated, they can't run the ball, or the Ravens not being able to run the ball, forcing either quarterback to sit in the pocket and pass all game makes it a lot harder for that team to win.
Well, they beat Buffalo earlier this season, the fourth game, 35-10. Lamar Jackson had 156 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. And they won that game. So
what was their rushing attack like that game, though?
Give me 1 second.
And I mean,
I think that was a defensive game.
Zay Flowers is questionable, but it's assumed that he will play this game.
Yeah, he'll play. Worst case scenario, he'll be a decoy out there, and it'll just be like Isaiah Likely, guys like that. Derrick Henry, 24 carries, 199 yards and a touchdown. Justice Hill has 6 receptions for 78 yards. Justice Hill was their leading receiver that game.
Yep. What was James Cook that game? Just out of curiosity.
9 carries because they were losing the whole game.
Yep.
39 yards.
You win the rushing game, you win the game. I mean,
Josh Allen only had 180 passing yards that game too.
I mean, even though he only had 9 carries, I understand that you were losing the game, but even when you're losing in the first quarters, teams still tend to run the ball. You can win the rushing attack. I mean, 200 yards damn near, 199 to, what did you say, 39? That's an incredible difference. You win the rushing attack, you win this game.
Yeah, it's a huge discrepancy.
Both quarterbacks can do what they need to do to win. We all know that.
Well, we shall see. This is going to be an amazing game. Can't wait. You guys want to watch it together?
Yeah.
We could.
Yeah. You want to live stream?
Really want
we
to?
could live stream.
You really
want
to
live stream from my basement?
From the basement? You might lock us up.
I'll put my gun away.
I hope.
Which one?
All right.
You put one away doesn't mean you don't got another.
I will say, let us know down in the comments down below who do you think is going to win this week. If you disagree with any of, if you're a Steelers fan, if you disagree with any of Jordan's takes, because a lot of people in the TikTok comment section
they disagree with me, but that's okay. I think that a lot of people are overreacting.
If you guys do this coming Monday, want to go to Mercedes-Benz Stadium, it's going to be $1,300 basically. That's tickets as low as for the national championship game. Before we go, make your pick. Who do you got, Ohio State or Notre Dame?
Play like a champion today.
Notre Dame.
Is that Notre Dame's slogan?
Yeah.
He's a Michigan fan. You can't ask him that.
Who you got, Dontea?
This is the worst possible national championship matchup for a Michigan fan.
I mean, listen, bro. That crystal ball that I had when I was predicting the bracket, I gotta stick with it.
If no one knows, Dontea is perfect so far.
I predicted every game. Told you how most of those games were going to go. And yeah, the Ohio State Buckeyes, national champions again. I'm going to get me a hat.
If you had to guess the spread, what do you think it is? You had to guess the spread, what do you think it is?
Like probably 8.5, 9.5.
Jordan, what do you think?
I believe it was. I think it was 9.5 at open. I don't know if it moved.
I don't know what it opened at, but currently at 8, according to ESPN Bet. Ohio State is favored.
Moved down.
So
reverse line movement.
We'll see. Well, hopefully everyone's off on that Monday. I don't know if your work lets you off, but hopefully you're off
on Tuesday. I hate that the Natty's on a Monday every year.
It should be some people's days off. MLK Day.
Make it a Friday night. Real quick before we leave, former Ohio State coach Woody Hayes said you can't claim a national championship without winning the game. The only meaningful statistic is the number of times you beat Michigan.
Wow.
That's crazy. Wow. If you win a natty, it overrules it, but I agree.
Not according to Ohio State's own coach. One of their treasured coaches.
Well, he's not their coach right now.
Treasured coaches.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the I Know Ball Network Pick'em Edition. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment.
And Dontea's going to bed.
Yeah, bro. It's 12:15. It's ridiculous.
He's getting cranky. Gramps, calm down.
You remember when Boogie Cousins got ejected? He brought it back and he goes, "This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous, man."
Who wanted to 1v1 him? Was that Brittany Griner?
Yeah.
He would have elbowed her dreads off.
Brittany Griner gotten cooked.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out. Let us know if you think Dontea really knows ball or not. Some might not think so.
I'm the balliest knower.